If you want to learn how to darken your foundation using the primary colors, keep on watching. Now, if we have a foundation that's really light and we want to actually make that a little bit darker, we can't just go and add black to it. If I add a little bit of black to this foundation, we end up making a really ashy tone because the light foundation has a white pigment and the black, obviously mixing with the white, makes gray. So I actually added a little bit too much black here so you can actually see the difference. And if I put that side by side, you can see how ashy this color looks. So if I want to darken this, I'm going to start by adding a little bit of blue. So blue is always the strongest color that we have between our primaries. As you can see, I'm not getting too much, and I'm just going to start mixing here. Okay, so that's the original color. That's the other color that we created just by adding a little bit of blue. Now, if I want to intensify the color even more, we're going to start playing with the primary colors. So here I am mixing a little bit more red. As you can see, it's very, very pink. So I need a tiny little bit more blue because I know there is a lot of yellow already. So I want to neutralize that a little bit. That was a bit too much blue, as you can see. And a little bit of yellow. And now this looks a little bit green to me, so I'm going to add a little bit more red. And I'm actually adding a little bit too much of the color, so you can actually see on the camera. I'm not sure how much you can actually see there, but here you can see the colors very strongly. And now that I have this new shade, I can actually test. And you can see the difference from all these shades. We started very, very pink, as you can see here, and now we're down to that kind of green color. We need a little bit more red. And again, that was way too much red. To balance the red, we need green. So I'm going to mix a little bit here. And we're going to add the green. Again, make sure you mix the colors really well. And then you see how you start to get a much darker color. So when you're darkening a color, you're always going to start with the blue because the blue is the more intense color in our primaries. And then you're going to start adjusting with the yellow and the red. And you see how many variations I can create with just that. So if I add a little bit more of the original shade, we have an even more natural tone that's actually quite similar to my skin tone. Can you see it? Even if I blend that out, it disappears on my skin. So that's actually a very close match to my skin tone. So if I want that foundation now to look even darker, we're going to add a little bit more blue. That was too much blue. And this, I find this to be a really good exercise for anyone that is starting out makeup and want to understand the undertones and adjusting colors as well. Because you end up saving so much money when you have primary colors in your makeup kit and then you know how to adjust them. And you can create multiple shades of foundation just by using a couple of original foundations and adding primaries to it. So I need a little bit of orange here. And then you see again how we created an even darker foundation shade just by mixing the primary colors.